Hello everyone, welcome to Tianliang Times. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan has been a very hot topic recently. Although the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, gave the Taiwanese government stern warnings, like flying a CCP fighter jet next to the Pelosi's airplane, the Taiwanese did not back down. When the news first broke out, I predicted that Speaker Pelosi would visit Taiwan anyway, and that the CCP would not engage in a military conflict with the United States or Taiwan to stop the visit, and both predictions have come true. Now the CCP is doing military drills around Taiwan, but these appear to be only for show, as they would not dare to invade Taiwan and will back down quickly. Recently, I saw two articles that criticized Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. One is from the New York Times, and the title is Why Pelosi's Visit to Taiwan is Utterly Reckless by Thomas L. Friedman. And the other was from the editorial board of the Washington Post. The title is The Damage from Pelosi's Unwise Taiwan Visit Must Be Contained. In these pieces, both authors expressed the concern that Pelosi's visit will enrage the CCP and cause potential military conflict, which the United States is not prepared for because of the ongoing Ukrainian war. With all due respect, I disagree with these opinions. My conclusion is that Pelosi's visit helped maintain peace across the Taiwan Strait. The reason is very simple. The CCP will never give up its plan to invade Taiwan, whether or not Speaker Pelosi visits Taiwan. The CCP has said that it cares about the unification of the country and will never allow Taiwan to be isolated from mainland China. Don't be fooled by them. This is not true. If the CCP cared about its land or territory, it would not have given up 1.5 million square kilometers to Russia in the last 2 centuries, to which a CCP spokesperson Zhao Lijian said there is no territorial disputes between Russia and China. Now the question is, if the CCP doesn't care about territory, why does it want to take over Taiwan? The reason is very simple. It's because it hates and fears Taiwan's democracy. Let's take Hong Kong for an example. Which countries have irritated the CCP on the Hong Kong issue? None. It is the Hong Kongese people, with their defense of freedom, of democracy, and the rule of law that irritates the CCP. The CCP hates Hong Kong's freedom, democracy, and the rule of law because it contrasts mainland's autocratic dictatorship and the evil of the Chinese Communist Party. The CCP's hatred of Hong Kong, its hatred of Taiwan, and its hatred of the United States are actually one and the same. Taiwan itself is so free and democratic that the CCP hates it to the bone. If you look at an interview between the Chinese ambassador to France, Lu Shaye, and the French TV channel, Lu Shaye said, after the reunification of Taiwan, we will re-educate the Taiwanese people, quote unquote. So the purpose of this re-education is to convince Taiwanese that democracy is bad and the CCP's dictatorship is good. If they cannot be convinced, they will be tortured, like what we know about Uyghur people in Xinjiang province. The CCP now has the power to strangle Hong Kong, so it passed the so-called national security law, which turned Hong Kong into a mainland city. When the CCP gets the strength to strangle Taiwan, it will definitely do it. And when the CCP has the strength to strangle the United States, it will do it and establish the community with a shared future of mankind that Xi Jinping talks about. So the CCP cult is an enemy of freedom and democracy all over the world. And even if you don't see it as an enemy, it sees you as an enemy. So the only language that the CCP can understand is strength. As long as the CCP feels that you are much stronger than itself, no matter what you do, it will not dare to confront you. That is exactly what we saw in Taiwan these days. In a dictatorship, to fight or not to fight only depends on the will of the dictator. If his country is much weaker than his enemy, he will lose the war and lose the face. So then he will consequently lose his power. So why would a dictator risk losing power to fight a war that he would almost certainly lose? So whether or not Pelosi visits Taiwan is not the key to whether conflict breaks out in the Taiwan Strait. The contrast in strength between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party is the key. Therefore, my view is just the opposite of the New York Times or the Washington Post opinion articles. I think that when the United States show a tough stance, it is actually preserving the security of the Taiwan Strait. Conversely, if the United States backed out this time and the Pelosi didn't go, the CCP will feel that it has the upper hand in the Pacific and can command influence in Northeast Asia, the Taiwan Strait, the South China Sea, and the Indo-Pacific Ocean. And it will become even more aggressive. So I hope my explanation can clarify the political philosophy of the CCP and help people understand how CCP thinks. Thanks for watching.